Hey everybody, how you doing? How you feeling? This is Cinnamon Cooney, the Art Sherpa. Hopefully you're Art Sherpa, and today I'm going to show you how to paint spooky flowers. That's no poison flowers, but they are spooky. On the mic today is my husband John.
Hi guys.
This is live.
It's live.
Unless you're here on replay, and then it's not anymore.
Live.
It would have been fun to have you here, but we still love you. John is going to be here tracking me with 4 cameras, a robot cam, and making sure that we have picture-in-picture so that your painting experience is as easy and achievable as is humanly possible. That's really our whole goal, is not just that I show you that I can paint this painting, but that I show you that you can paint this painting. I think we have a few people here with us today.
Oh my gosh, we have a whole room of people with us. It's so exciting. Over 150 people with us already. And when I was in, they were a bunch of the Breakfast Club was out here chatting with us early this morning, and that was really cool.
Well, they like their bonus video.
They do. They got, oh, that's right. They got a little bonus video last night. That was some fun stuff.
Got a little bonus palette knifey video just a little palette cleanser to relax and chill out, because we're now all starting to get into the holidays, aren't we? That holiday pressure.
We are.
I'm really feeling it. Like all the costume days at school, and they had to get candy and the stuff and the stuff and the stuff. So I know I'm feeling it. Art is a great way to put down that anxiety and pressure and just relax and just restore. And so even though this is slightly holiday themed, I feel like this could be up all year though.
Oh yeah. This is definitely goes in the rotation of, like, you know, stuff that I'm going to keep up, you know, in my office.
It's
like
just too fun.
It's good office decor. I mean, like, I have a couple of these paintings that I like rotating out. I have Fun Guy. He goes up in my office. This is another one that's going to go up in there.
Yeah, mushrooms had to come back. They just had to come back.
Yeah. So
Just
I really
had to bring back.
think those are cool.
And I think I need to do a gnome and mushroom painting. Every once in a while, I just sort of make myself happy. This was a suggestion. This was a viewer's suggestion, was to do a bouquet of poison flowers. And I was looking at all the different poison flowers, and I was like, that's kind of fun, but somehow it got away from me, and they ended up with eyeballs. Because this Halloween has been brought to you by eyeballs.
Eyes.
The eyes have it.
We were both going for the same pun.
We're punnerific. If you like puns, if you like chatting, if you like being goofy, if you don't like being part of the norm and the regular, you have just found your show and your painting party at home. And I hope you're painting. I hope we got some people painting live.
Yeah. And you can find more of us at TheArtSherpa.com.
At TheArtSherpa.com. The shares, we've actually had to expand y'all's storage because you guys are sharing so much art. I'm so glad that you guys appreciate having a safe space to share art and talk with each other. I'm going to take my sippy sippy. It's been noticed that I haven't been sippy sippy lately.
While you're taking your sippy sippy, I'll give you a quick... Everyone loves your hat. They love what you're wearing. They think you look fantastic today. And they're super excited about getting started today.
I'm excited about getting started. Listen, you can do this on any size canvas or paper, art journal, or anything. This is one of those pieces that is not as size specific to what you're doing, and we'll talk about that.
Now, you got some wishes up there.
I do, and I've got some materials. Let's do the wishes first. We always like to include wishes on our canvas. You can do this at home. I think this is a really healthy thing. I think this is something that increases sort of mental wellness in our life, in the sense of the universe being a kind place. So the first wish is Mona's niece has a good pregnancy.
Oh, yeah?
We'd all like to send out a wish to Amber Hale's little brush, who is in the ICU right now going through some treatment. We just want her to heal and recover and be back home very quickly. Angela S., she just needs some relief and some peace. I think all of us right now during this time of year and all the craziness going on could use that, so let's all put some relief and peace in our canvas. Christina needs an answer and a solution to her health issues. She's looking to find an absolute answer and a happy solution. Stephanie's dog, it's a wish for a dog, got bit by a rattlesnake.
And I know, there's...
So we're wishing that she gets a recovery from her snake bite.
Yeah.
Not Stephanie, the dog. The dog. Also, very important and close to home, we're wishing a job for Dan that he loves and also pays well. Mm-hmm. And then this one is for me, because we're getting into that time of year where I got to start wishing for this. I'm wishing for viral videos.
Oh, yeah.
Tons and tons of viral videos. You guys could put that in the ether, that would be really great because we could use a couple of those.
Oh, yeah. And
so those are our wishes today.
Yeah, we've got a lot of wishes coming in the chat, and thank you guys. Please, 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 all of our light keepers and our Sherpettes, they're capturing those and putting them on the canvas. Know that we go into the comments and we try to get all the wishes we can so we can have them ready for the show.
I know in Angelini, sometimes people just come in and ask the group now that's on Facebook for a wish, and people will just put them in their canvases as they're painting. It's sort of like a love chain, and I'm kind of glad we have it. I know it's goofy. I know I'm goofy. I'm aware. I've been informed. My daughter's given me notes.
And every day, the best thing we can do to improve the universe is influence its change by making those wishes come true. And part of it is just putting them out there. So
I think so. Just put a little good out there.
Put some good out there.
That's all we can do, is be contributors to what makes the world a better place. We're going to start out today.
What do you got over there?
With Dioxazine Purple, Titanium White, and I'm, of course, going to use my favorite Golden Glazing Liquid. I love this stuff. If you're brand new to painting, I don't ever talk about mediums or additives unless I have a deep passion for them. Not sponsored. I like this because it slows down the drying of my paint and yet is also a glaze. And usually you have to buy 2 products to get that. But this fabulous, yummy bottle of stuff is one.
Yes.
It's a 2-in-1, and I love a 2-in-1.
A twofer.
I'm a twofer girl. Also in our materials today, we're going to be using phthalo green. I'm going to use cadmium red light. Listen, guys, save money and buy hue. If you're in student paints, yours is automatically hue and has no cadmium pigment in it. And that's some of the ways they get that cost down. But if you're in pro, just go ahead and switch it to hue.
Yep.
Cadmium medium, also get hue. Mars black, phthalo blue, and yellow oxide. If you're a professional artist, though, and you just want to stick to your cadmium pigments, don't worry about it.
So Alan was asking, do you still use the Grumbacher medium?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I still use it. I got my Mama tube. I really like the Grumbacher retarder. It's just you can't glaze with it. Is its only deficit.
Yeah.
But it's like for portraits and skin. It's really fantastic stuff. And in my own work, I pull it out all the time. I think it's a great product.
But especially with these studio lights, you've just come to find.
Yeah, dude, with the studio lights and the limited space, this is my baby. And I'm like, and I learned about this after. Yeah. Not sponsored by anybody. Oh, today also we're going to be using fluid paints, which, secret tip, craft paint is also soft-bodied. So don't feel like you've got to go out and buy an expensive product. I've got one of these little dowels, but the back of your brush will work just as well.
Okay.
I've got this 2-inch, this is an Artist Loft painting brush, but this is exactly like a chip brush from your hardware store, so it's not like you have to be super specific. I'm going to do this thing where I prime the brush. I'm going to dip it in water about halfway in and then drag off the excess water. You may also need to hit a towel on this because you don't want too much. You want the bristles to be damp but not soaking.
Now, can I make a comment on that?
Yes.
A lot of those chip brushes and those big wide 2-inch brushes are a natural fiber. They're generally like a boar hair or a horse hair or something like that. Yeah. And so those hold more water than a synthetic often does.
Yeah, it really does. And so you just want to be careful and make sure you drag off the water or pull out the water. You just want it damp. Now you'll notice even though this is a giant, enormous, weighty little brush, I'm taking just the tip of the brush and then bringing it over to the white to tint the white. And the reason I don't have all my paint out is because I don't know how much mess I'm going to be making here. And all I'm going to do on this background is just paint it all in with this light lavender. I don't have to worry about brush stroke direction. I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. I'm just trying to cover the canvas in this color. And you see how I got a little bit wet there? You can kind of tell how like it's pooling on the canvas. Yeah, that's because this brush just holds a lot more water. And again, I'm just using the glazing medium because I need it in my painting conditions. If you were in a very hot, dry studio, you might also need that.
Thank you, Linda. Linda says, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share.
And honestly, we need that right now, guys.
We really could. So thank you, guys.
Comments would be really great. Just tell us what you'd like to be painting or seeing.
Yeah.
Especially over this holiday. Give us any of your ideas. They're always read. I try to answer a bunch of them, but I try to read all of them. Mm-hmm. And, we use our YouTube channel and the stuff you guys say to determine what we're going to be painting. So if you'd like to be a contributor to that, making suggestions is the best way. And sometimes you guys have ideas. I'm like, I would have thought of it, but I didn't think of it.
Now, why are you adding more of the...
Because I ran out.
Oh, you just ran out?
Just ran out. So I don't want to have to dip my brush in the water again, because I'd have to pull the excess out in the towel.
Uh-huh.
And to get the good coverage, I'm going to need some type of medium. I can use the water as one, right, to thin the paint, or I can use this glaze. I'm using the glaze today.
Gotcha. So you're using the glaze as a way of extending the paint and making it...
Yeah, it's not really technically an extender. Technically an extender would be something like a gel.
Oh.
Right?
I didn't know that.
This is a glaze and a retarder. Ah. But it does extend my paint a little bit. I can use less paint, especially if I'm glazing.
Yes.
What I'm doing here is I'm working out my wishes. I'm working them into the canvas, if you're wondering. And you don't have to paint the same brands as me. I always tell you guys what brands that I'm using so that there's nothing hidden from you in how I'm getting my results. It's just really about being transparent in the process.
Gotcha.
But it's not like, some workshops and teachers will really want you to use the same stuff as them. Exactly. I'm not that concerned about it. I'd rather that you learn how to use what you have to your best advantage. When you see me going like this, I'm getting rid of a hair that's shedded off. It's not a technique. These things tend to shed. If they shed more than a hair or two, you need to get a different brush. Just painting this all in as quickly as I can. And you can see it's taking me a while even with this big brush today.
Yeah.
And that's because of the dryness of the studio. Just makes the paint not want to cover as much as it could. But notice I don't mix these two together. And I'm on palette paper here by Strathmore. Lots of brands of palette paper. And it is not wax paper like what you get at the grocery store. I've seen people like wrap a plate in aluminum foil. That works. Polystyrene plate works. I've seen people take glass and just clean the glass every time. And you just want to make decisions based on the types of paints you're using and how you're painting.
A lot of people are really giving you some nice compliments out here today. You're getting a lot of love.
Am I getting some loves?
Yeah, Victoria says that you're an awesome painter, that you've inspired her. Susan Collins says you inspire me to paint. And she's not a painter. There's a lot of really, really nice things being said out here. Everyone's really sort of echoing those comments. So thank you, guys.
Seeing all your paintings in the feeds, on the website, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Pinterest inspires John and I to get up every day. Yeah. Reading your stories keeps us committed to this process because we really believe if people paint, they'll just be happier. Yep. Life will be just a little bit easier, and that's worth it.
Yeah, yeah. There's it's like we are fortunate enough to see firsthand how much art can heal people. And so once you see that, you can't not do it.
Yep.
So it's a calling, if you
I'm pulling out all the excess water when I rinse my brush off.
I'm aimlessly pushing buttons because I can't see you do that.
You can't?
Kind of. It's just sort of between you and your shoulder. I should have said,
I'm going to do a weird thing with the palette knife because I want to save this paint.
What are you going to do with that?
Well, in theory, I would be like saving it and then pulling this paper because I think it's going to be hard to work with. But instead, I'm just being awkward on YouTube. Like you are.
No, but I think it's great that everyone out here is saying so much nice things about you. And you guys, we don't give Cinnamon the chat.
Nope.
Because then she...
disappears.
She's like a young deer in the headlights. She's like... What is that shiny thing?
I love reading the chat because I like to see what your experience is. Like a lot of times when people, even if they come at me like with a comment where they don't like something, sometimes I'll read it and I'll take it in because everything is information.
Yeah.
And maybe that's something I need to hear or know. It might be something that I can do something about. I don't, if it's change who you are, I don't generally respond to that because that's not going to happen.
Ooh, Judy asks, what if your paint is gloppy?
Is it like cottage cheese gloppy? Because if it's like cottage cheese gloppy, then what's happened is your paint has started to cure inside the tube. It's gone bad. Generally, the retailers won't own that has happened to you. They'll be like, oh, no, it's still good. You're just supposed to mix it more or thin it with what? No, none of that is true. It should be like warm butter squeezing out of the tube. If for any reason it is not like warm butter squeezing out of the tube, sometimes you can force it to still work. I know I've been so lazy before in the past that I didn't want to drive to the art store. So I forced it to still work.
Yeah.
But the truth is that the paint company should take it back. Most of them will.
Hey, I want to give a big art high fives to one of our community who's been on a walkabout for a while. The hostess with the mostest.
Oh my goodness, is she here today?
The ghost is in the house. So I just wanted to say big art high fives to you. I know you've been out exploring your art sensibilities. And
she has.
And
I'm misting because I'm dry. You don't need to mist at home if you're in good conditions.
So
it's just because I'm dry.
So we have.
And speaking of, I'm going to hair dry this, John, while you're talking to everybody.
Okay, well,
I'm going to dry this because I want to sketch in my painting. In the description below, where the materials are, where the extra information is, there's also a link to Traceable, so you don't have to be able to draw to do this.
Yeah.
Please don't ever feel like you've got to draw to paint or draw to be creative in any way. Drawing is one little skill in a set of many creative skills, and there are a lot of incredible artists that don't draw at all.
It's true. While she's doing that, yeah, you guys, we've got all of the an easy link to all of the traceables. If you go to TheArtSherpa.com, they're right there on our main page. We've got a link for them. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And hey, guys, it's just good to see all you. I saw Alan and Ian, Heather and Shannon and Zoe and all of our friends from all over the world. Love seeing you guys. It's really nice to have you guys with us, Gail, all you guys. You should send in your Jack and Sally paintings for the Sunday Fun Day show that we're going to have at the end of the month. We're going to try to show off all of those as well as all the other stuff that you guys do. Hi, Kim Sim and Brenda and all of the Sherpettes. And you see you guys all saying hi back, and it's good to see you guys. You know we love seeing you here. I'm sure that there's some other stuff that I should be talking about instead of saying hello to you guys, but it's sort of interesting to read the chat. So, Dawn, we are feeling better. There was a little flu bug thing kind of going around, but we're doing pretty good. We've actually, while we were down, it was like Cinnamon has been drawing and sketching, and so she has like more designs now pent up than she has time to do. So she's been ravenously eating up our canvases.
Me?
So, yeah, I was just saying that we had a couple days where we were a little sick, so you were doing some designs, and now that you're back, you were just like, I gotta paint. So you just like chewed up all our canvases.
Hey, you know what's going on today? A momentous moment for everyone who's here right now. Angela Anderson is painting tonight for the first time at 6 p.m. live.
Oh, cool.
She's going to be doing, she's had it up for like 2 weeks.
Oh, that's
but
right.
Maybe you missed it. I mean, I think everybody's seen it, but just in case you missed it, she's doing the top leaves of birch trees. So it's like that view as if you were laying down in the grass looking up in the fall.
And it's so beautiful.
It's a gorgeous painting, and she's going to be live at 6 o'clock. I know some of you are in Australia or other places where it's like it's like 1 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were thinking, man, I can't do this, Angela's your girl, because she's going to be up tonight.
Yep.
And I'm so glad that she's doing. I can't do the night ones, but she's doing the night ones, and I think she's going to come in regularly on Tuesdays.
Yep. Now, and they're in the chat. Flame has put a link to Angela's show there, so you can catch the link right there. We'll have a link in the description below if it's not there now, and in the iCard a little bit later for all the Time Lords who are with us today.
Like we do. But it's just something to know, and if you run into this on the replay, you should go check out Angela's painting because it's pretty cool. And I love that she's been planning, and I probably have seen it because she's been announcing. Everybody kind of knows, but just in case you didn't.
All right.
There you go.
Feed me, Sherpa. Oh, wait.
Hopefully you guys at home have some type of sketching in pencil.
You want that, but I got to push this button.
Yeah, there it is. There's picture in picture. So I've got a white charcoal pencil. I'm really enjoying sketching in with the white charcoal pencils. This will blend right into my paint and not stain my paint. Sometimes I use watercolor pencils too. If you use graphite pencils, they can gray your paint where the graphite is, because the graphite will bleed through. That can be a look you're going for. It might not be a look you're going for. So if you're not going for it, don't use them. That's my advice. I'm going to do my little skull bowl.
Okay. And while I'm gonna queue up some of these questions for after you get done sketching this in.
All right. So when we're doing the skull bowl, he doesn't come all the way up to the halfway point of the canvas. If you find the halfway point of your canvas, which I'll say is like right here on me, he comes down just a little bit from that. So when I sketch in his, oh, this isn't even showing up. I'm going to have to switch to a blue. There we go. See, this is a watercolor.
Yeah, there it goes.
So I'm going to sketch this in. I normally wouldn't sketch this in blue, and I'm making kind of a small smile that's going to go just a little bit past the halfway mark of my canvas. This is the opening of my planter. Now, my particular planter was not a murder victim or any of that. In this universe, it's a lot like the Addams Family universe. You know, this is just one of those things that is and is still alive and is fun and is happy and is animated.
Themed decor.
Well, I feel like this is a bouquet of flowers that Morticia would have.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm trying to curve the outside edges of the bowl. And I want to leave like 2 fingers at the bottom of my canvas so that I can leave a shadow. And I'm flattening it so it feels like it could be sitting there. Then right in this space, I'm going to do a couple circles just so I know where they are. They don't have to be perfect. And interestingly enough, if you don't make them the same size, it'll just make it feel whimsical. Then slightly down from these 2 eyes, I'm going to do a heart, which is going to look like our skull dude's nose. Right? So that is just the skull there. Then the next interesting thing that I'm going to sketch in is the Audrey 2 style plant.
Oh, yeah.
So how I draw this is I want to know the size of my Audrey. So I'm going to make a circle bigger than the bottom of a Coke can. I definitely want to be bigger than that. Maybe heading towards the bottom of a 2-liter bottle in my size. Or if you look at it, the top of a Solo cup. If you're really terrible at circles, you could just flip a Solo cup over and trace around it.
For sure.
That's totally okay. Then I'm going to scoop in a little curve and then scoop in another little curve. It'll kind of remind you of duck lips, and we're going to do the duck lips.
Ooh.
So they tip up, curve out, and about the halfway point come in. This one is going to be slightly smaller and pouted down. Then I'm going to make a little smile there. And they're going to join up. You can even add a little tooth if you like. I like, so I did. Then I'm going to draw a little circle at the back. And this is where the stem attaches. And let's go ahead and arc up and down in this nice little sort of S curve, how the stem is going to be. Something to know about the stem is it's going to be thicker at the base of the planter and then become thinner as it goes up. So that's something that you can sketch in now just to remind yourself you're doing that. And then I like to flare it out right here. Isn't that fun?
That is.
Then he needs a little eyeball friend over here.
He does.
So I'm going to draw a little circle. And this is going to be the basis of the flower that I'm going to put over here. And then we need another little flower right here. And I want to leave at least a couple inches for petals at the top.
Everyone is echoing, "Feed me, Sherpa." Alan thought that
well,
that was
we've
brilliant.
done a lot of art based on some of our favorite properties this
Yeah.
Halloween, which has been super fun for me. Now, all I'm going to do for the eyes, I'm going to put an almond shape right in the middle of this flower. And then another little circle. And then this one's just going to have a circle right there. I'm not even going to worry about it that much. You can go ahead if you want to and draw a stem coming down. And you can draw another little stem arcing down. And you'll notice I kind of curve, I S-curve most of my stems most of the time. I'm going to come down at least 2 fingers and make our little diamond leaf shapes that are sort of fun and decorative. And now I got to draw in my shroomy guys. You guys ready to shroom it up?
Yes.
Shroom it. Shroom it.
See the shroomy guys.
Okay. So how I do the shrooms is first I'm going to draw a little curve up. This is my gesture. And then I'm going to draw another little curve to the side. And that tells me sort of the direction that my shrooms are going to be.
Shroom gesture.
They do. They're very expressive plants. Funguses, I guess. They're not really plants as much as funguses. And I'm going to draw my little mushroom cap shape. And the stem is thinner where it joins, that Tim Burton design sensibility. Beetlejuice could have had this this bouquet somewhere, but I still think this is more Addams Family. And while you're here, you can even draw little quarter-sized circles around your flower, just to let you know that you've got petals, and start planning then in to see if you need to make any adjustments at this stage with size. And I just go around, and they're about quarter size.
Huh. And
resketch if ever you need to. Just always feel good about resketching. So I know where my stems are. I know where my Audrey is. And then I have one last thing, but I can't actually sketch in my tentacle right now because I want to paint in my skull, and I don't want to have to be painting all fussily around my tentacle. So I'm going to put it in after the skull is in. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab myself a number 8 bright.
A number 8 bright?
A number 8 bright. And this has got, this is like Goldilocks. This is the Richeson 7530. Goldilocks is the extra firm filament by Simply Simmons. What they have in common is they have a very firm synthetic filament that is square and the bristles are short and the edges are very nice. And I'm a sippy.
You're gonna sippy.
I'm feeling winded, like I'm moving along really quickly. Do you feel like I'm cooking?
We got over 210 people here with us, 165 likes. Thank you guys. There was a little hiccup there for a minute where the video was kind of doing some weird streamy bit. And it just hiccuped, but it seemed to go right along. There was some pixelization. Everyone said you max headroomed for a moment when you were at the end of that description. But what I'll say,
gives everybody a reason to give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Thumbs up for hanging in, or thumbs down. You can't control the universe, and I'm mad at you for it.
I'm gonna tell you guys a secret. She was just talking about Audrey. It was okay.
I was. She was talking about Audrey. How was it got that long?
Well, no, it was just it was one part when you were saying that you're going to do the tentacle in a little later.
Yeah, I was going to do the tentacle in a little later. I'm going to dip this brush in my water and drag it off. You can see how I'm dragging it off. So it's not sopping wet. It has a little moisture in it, but it's not sopping wet. And I'm going to take a little of my yellow oxide over to my white. I want it to be kind of parchment colored. And I'm using my glazing medium because, again, my studio is hot.
Now, I'm being told by the guys here in chat that they want me to tell everyone that you need to hit the like button because they want to see the Sherpa dance today. And
it helps the YouTube service out. Like for the goal of us having like viral videos, the more YouTube services out, the more people get to see it, the more people painting.
Yeah. Now we will.
The less election coverage we all have to put up with.
This is true. Now we won't make you.
Let's fix Facebook.
We're gonna make the Sherpa dance anyway.
Yeah, I like dance because John bought new dance music.
Because I got new dance music we're going to play. So here in a little bit, once she gets a little further along in this, or if we hit 300 likes or 300 people in the room where we are Sherpa, then for sure we're going to dance.
Yeah, anytime we hit 300, we are Sherpa. We do dance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It needs to be John dancing with me.
I dance in my chair while I'm pushing the buttons.
Okay.
Wiggle my fingers.
So I'm using my brush, like I'll go flat and I'll pull it out. That gives me that kind of stroke. And then when I want to have a nice line, I just take it on the edge and I trace my line. And that's how I get that. You'll notice also that the load on my brush doesn't go all the way up into the ferrule. That's this metal part right here. It's about halfway up the bristles. And sometimes you guys have a lot of trouble. You'll tell me, oh, I'm using a lot of paint and not getting any coverage. And that is about the flow on your paint. You'll see me making a lot of adjustments to my brush. There's the load. To make sure that I have good flow. So I'm either using the glazing medium or water to just thin the paint enough to flow off my brush. If I use too much water, it would do a thing called underbinding. However, if I use too much glazing medium, it wouldn't hurt it. It would just be very translucent. But it wouldn't underbind. It would take a really long time to dry.
So he was like, we be on Wednesday night, the anti-debate edition.
I'm telling you what. All I'm saying is I don't know what your feed is like, but mine is all art all the time. It's like it's not even happening to me. And I wish this for you. And I feel like if we share enough of this art out there and we get enough people painting with the Sherpa, none of us have to watch any of this crazy.
And on that note, we'll turn our attention to art.
To what?
To art.
To art.
Yes.
Yes, always art. Because that's where I want our attention to be. World is better if we're painting.
Yeah.
I'm going to let that dry because I'll be coming back with a dry brush of white paint later.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to rinse out my brush. I press it in and I kind of drag it back and forth in the cup. Then I'm going to wipe it off on my towel. And I'm going to come over to my black paint. And I just want to rough in my little black shadow here of these eyeballs. Isn't that nice?
That is. You know what? Ghost made a really good recommendation. She says that she could use some Sherpa After Dark. And there were some other ladies echoing that comment.
I think we've got some blacklight paint we've got to do.
I think we got to do some blacklight.
We have so many projects we've got to do. The to-do list is crazy. I don't even know why I'm doing extra videos because really, seriously, I'm not keeping up with my homework.
And it is. She just gets in here. She's like, I got this idea for something. And just boom. She's like, so I'm just record. All I have to do is just sit here and record it because she's going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Because she's like, I want to work this out. And I'm like, well, then go do it over on the easel because we're going to record it. And then she does. So...
and then it goes out on public access.
And which is great. So what was I saying though?
So I'm just painting in this little nose very carefully. I'm using the edge of my brush to control a line and just painting it in on the flat where I need to fill it.
So Friday, maybe after dark?
Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Let's plan. Let's see what our schedule's like because Honey has her play this week.
Oh, that's right. We have a
and
kid
it's
birthday
her birthday.
party. Yeah, we have a kid birthday party this week.
And she's in that play.
And in a play. And camping trips.
So Thursday and Friday night is the play. And then Friday night's also the carnival that we promised Spider he gets to go to. It's a really crazy time for us.
All right, guys. So this is what we call hashtag YouTube Life Inside Baseball. You just...
All I'm saying is some stuff is happening and we got to deal with it. And so I'm going to do where I'm going to take maybe a little of this ochre, and I didn't worry about my brush getting too clean because I don't want my white to be a bright white. I want it to be a bit antiqued.
Yep.
And I'm going to paint in the top part of the cap of the mushroom. Here. And just paint that all in nicely. I'm painting out my little sketch lines.
Mm-hmm.
The other nice thing about using chalk or watercolor pencil, if your sketch lines end up being outside the range of where you paint, you can then just wipe it off with like a damp brush or cloth or some other object. So I'm painting this in all white so it can be all Beetlejuicy and stripey. I need some, the basis of some white around my eyeball. I'm going to come back and red it up. But we definitely want some of that there, don't we?
Now, you've got a technique for making that round, consistent thing. Can you talk about that?
Well, in this one, what I'm doing is I know my brush is about this wide, which just happens to be about the width of my eyeball. And so I press it in a little bit. The bristles flare out a small amount, and I drag it around, and it gives me an even track.
Gotcha.
I'm going to add some of this on either side of this eyeball, even though I'm going to come back and make them kind of bloodshot and red. The flowers need some Visine. I'll tell you that right now. The flowers need some Visine. I hear wrestling. Why are we wrestling?
I had to turn the speakers off on your computer.
Oh, no. Did I do that again?
They were going book, book.
So sorry.
That's all right.
So I'm not being that picky about it because this is the first coat. And in this sense, acrylic paint needs layers. And I'm going to come back and add another layer. I just want to know where that is. I can, with a smaller brush, much smaller, because I want to have control over what it does. I've got a number 6 Filbert. You could do a number 2 bright. It doesn't really matter. You just want it small enough for the tooth. And a paint in this tooth, just real quick, with its first coat of white. It's going to have 2 coats. But it's its first one. Doesn't matter what your detail brush was. Now, I'm going to rinse this off. And I realize I need to paint that cap in black. How you guys doing? Doing okay? Having a good time, painting along, laughing with your friends and family? I hope so.
I was over here chasing cameras. There's lots of questions over here that were coming in while we were going there.
Really? We have questions. I love questions. I'm painting in this cap black, and John can ask me a couple questions.
Okay. Now I'm going to scroll back up to where those questions were because I got like questions. 3 they said so. Alaya Akan. I'm.
John is bad at names. Just give him great forgiveness.
Yeah, sorry. She says that she came in such a bad mood, and she really appreciates that you made her laugh, and sends art hugs.
Oh, thank you for the art hugs. Art hugs.
And Dana says this is the first time watching your channel for months. This is my first time to a live. Oh, she's been watching our channel for months. This is the first time she's been to a live.
Welcome to a live.
She's painting something else at the moment. It's really enjoying just watching the show and hanging out with us.
Paint what you like. You know what? It's art. It's literally do what you like.
Oh yeah, and some other people were echoing, "Ooh, Sherpa After Dark sounds like that could be fun. What's that?"
That's when we get the blacklight paint out and we stop adulting entirely. None of us here. If you like adulting, that's totally cool. We accept you.
Being grown up.
But many of us do not.
We are not grown-ups. We wear funny hats and have a YouTube show where we compete against cat videos to make a living.
Because why not do that?
Because, yeah, that seems like a good way.
So we did that. And if you're like that, you have found your family. You really, really have.
Yep, which is cats and DIYers.
Yep. We're going to put in this little black stem right here. Aren't these nice little beetle juicy mushrooms? I really dig them.
I like them.
You know what I loved about the Addams Family and Beetlejuice and all that stuff from that time was that message of how stuff looked different from the outside, but inside was super healthy and super loving.
Yeah.
I love that. Paved the way for a lot of good stuff, at least for me.
Yeah.
And gave me permission to not have to be exactly like everybody else around me. And I appreciate that. A great, great deal. All right.
Yep.
The next thing that I need to do, and it's an interesting layer, I need to, because they're the furthest back, put in some black, weird twiggities. Creepity, spookity twiggities.
Twiggities?
And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to shake up my soft body paint. And again, soft bodied is what they mean is that it doesn't have a lot of the heavy body fillers in it. So it doesn't hold a brush stroke. It's called self-leveling.
Now,
and I'm going to use this fine detail brush that I can't get the tag off, which is a 10/0.
Can I share a cool, interesting thing? That I learned that the difference between heavy body and fluid paint is very, very little. You would think that there would be a lot of filler. That would make it's tiny amount.
Pigments exist. I actually think there's maybe a little more pigment in the soft bodied.
Yeah.
A little more.
Yeah, but and you would think that the fluid body, but they're almost identical.
Now, look, I will lie to you. There's a big difference between my bottle of golden fluid paint and Deco black.
In the pigment densities for sure.
Well, I mean, the pigment's just the whole,
yeah.
All across the board, there's some differences between that. But will it work for you at home? Yes, it will. Yeah.
And we need a lot of these vivid colors and things so that it shows up on camera well. And, we have to make decisions in the studio that you aren't necessarily bound to.
Also, you know what? I grew up an artist. I grew up painting, so I make some decisions just based on that. That I like things a particular way because of that. I'm going to take this. Notice how I just sort of kind of stab my brush into this?
I did.
And pull out this little bead. I'm going to rest my hand on the canvas, and I'm going to just paint a little fine line twiggly that goes up. I will have to reload pretty often, I find. But this is a great way to get fine lines. And if you've been struggling with your fine lines, these brushes and this fluid paint can help you. So it's just about getting detail miniature brushes and a paint that flows off of them really easily. That's the whole secret sauce of this. And other little tips about this fluid paint is that as it dries, it does not unload as easily. So you've got to work it while it's still pretty wet.
What do you mean unload?
The way it flows off my brush onto the canvas. See, it just comes off like I just no work at all.
No, it is. Everyone was saying in chat that, or maybe it was messaging me here, that if you say twigglies when painting these in, they come out better.
They do. If you go twiggly bits, I'm painting twiggly bits. And you can be pretty crazy with this particular set of twigs. They could be curly, they could be broken, because these are spooky twigs.
Is that because they have more little random?
Yeah. Yes.
They're more
from the dark forest where they grew. Yeah, definitely. Everything has a backstory, and you'll notice that. Look, I'll curve. I'm almost like calligraphy here.
They come from the twiggly bush.
They come from the twiggly bush. Aren't those interesting? How twiggly they are.
They are.
How twiggly they are.
We have questions for our after show. I mean, for our after dark show already. Like, there's a question in here on, are there do's and don'ts for phosphorus green painting? There's some good questions coming in.
All right. Well, we'll have to do it. I really think blacklight painting is a lot of fun and worth it for everybody. So, twiggly bit advice, though. One of my tricks is make sure that the bits that branch off, right, are finer than the bits that they're attached to. One of the things that I see people doing, and you want to avoid, is having your twig all kind of be like a chicken claw.
Let me zoom in on that. I had my camera moving a little
where
fast.
It gets to be like a chicken claw. So it comes up, and then all the twigs branch off from the same thing. They become chicken claws. You want to break them up. You want rebels to, come away and. I'm gonna fix this here. If I had a chicken claw, how would I fix it? This is how I would fix it. So you just wanna break up what they're doing so they seem like rebels.
Oh.
They go their own way. You can go your own way.
As long as you don't trip content ID.
I don't sing well enough to trip content ID. And I'm not insulted by that at all. So see, even though I had a little moment here, it's okay. I worked it out.
You just did it.
Now I'm going to show you. What if I boo-booed? What if I went, oh no? I'll fix that later, and I'll show you how I do it. I love when I do that. People are like, did you just mess up your own painting on purpose? I always get a comment afterwards. Someone's like, I couldn't believe it when you boo-booed on purpose. So I'm just going to put a little branch down here that's coming up. The undead florist that arranged this bouquet, had really good design background.
I bet you could probably go to Michael's and find all of these bits to actually build this.
I think this is buildable, in a functional reality. Maybe next year Halloween we'll build this bouquet for real, with Sculpey and silk plants. I'll show you how to make this as a real table centerpiece next year. If you're still with me and you remember to ask.
Yeah, this totally looks like something Summer would make.
Yeah. Or Kimberly Kirk or Honor.
Yeah.
So see, we've just got some twiggly bits happening there, and it's nice and it's balanced. This paint can take a little bit longer to dry, so I'm going to make sure that I dry it with a hairdryer.
Okay, so while she's doing that, I will say, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We have 241 people in the room. Thank you guys so much. Oh, what's wrong? Luna just came in here. Let me ask her something. Come here. Can you say hi to everybody?
Hi.
So, you did a good job saying hi. Just say hi. They like hearing your voice.
Hi.
So what are you doing today? You watching cartoons? Yeah? Can you remind everybody to like, comment, subscribe, and share? Because that's what I'm supposed to be doing.
Can you say it for me?
Hold on, what? Hold on. Let me whisper in your ear. What's that?
Say it for me.
Yeah? Okay, I'll say it for her. I say, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And you can say, what do you like about today's painting?
What do you like about...
No, what do you like about today's painting?
Good.
You like it good? Yeah? You see it right there? What do you think? What do you think of the flowers?
Good.
Good? What's your favorite flower?
All of them.
All of them? Okay. All right. You go up front.
And my feet is bigger.
Oh, your feet are bigger. You go up front with your feet. All right, guys. So, as you can see, little Luna came in here. No, she hasn't started school. She didn't start school yet. She's next year she'll start school. So, nope. I gotta give Cinnamon back her microphone. So, she's over there. So we're back.
All right. So I've got a boo-boo here. I don't know. Maybe I was having some Merlot with my friends and stuff got away from me.
Got away.
It happens. You get laughing. Life is fun. And so I'm going to pull a little of my purple over to my white paint and kind of mix the background color I had going earlier. And I'm going to just paint right over this. Now, I have Golden Heavy Body paints, and their pigment load is incredible. Right? So this is a little easier for me to do in a coat or two. If you're on student paints or craft paints, it might take a couple more coats. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't really matter what you're painting. This is always, always achievable. I'm going to even use my glazing medium. Now, the nice thing about the glazing medium is it gives me a way to blend my edges so they don't show up as strongly. And it might take me a couple coats to take out a strong black line, but there just isn't anything happening in your painting that you can't come back from. And I think that's important because I see artists panic all the time. Some normal happens to every artist, boo-boo occurs, and they feel like the whole piece, all their hard work, everything that they've been struggling for, and they started to feel really good. It's always at the point, too, I swear, when somebody's like feeling pretty good. Like they really got it, and that's when this happens. And then they're like, you just see their face and everything just falls, and they're like, I just messed up. And it's so great to be able to come over with a hairdryer and go, nope, you're good. You're good. This is no biggie.
You would think it's a hairdryer, but it's not. It's actually a magic eraser.
Once acrylic paint is dry, you can always just pull a layer over it and take out a boo-boo.
Yeah.
And I'm just smoothing that out.
Smoothing it out.
Not just hiding it. It's like a patch kit.
But I'm going to say hi to all our little brushes out there. I think I saw Raven with us.
I hope all our little brushes can remind their big brushes that are with them to not worry about mistakes. They're no big deal.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Not at all.
What do we have today? Do we know if we have Natalie today or Wyatt or...
Oh, as far as little brushes, I know Raven was here.
Hi, Raven.
I saw her up here earlier, and that's why I was saying...
I saw Isis today in the feed.
Did you?
So cute.
That's awesome.
All right. So I'm just I'm going to let that dry a little bit. It may take another touch up. But listen, you can see that it's not the end of your painting. It's not all over.
Alia says, I'm a little brush in my heart. Does that count?
It totally counts.
And Tyler is there. And as there's lots of everyone saying, I'm a little brush. I want a shout out too.
Everybody can have a shout out. You can all have shout outs.
We all have our romper room shout outs.
That is completely fine. I have loaded a bead of white paint onto my brush, just the tip. The brush is dry. And I'm going to do dry brushing, which means I'm going to use a light pressure and my heavy body paint. And I'm going to allow a lot of what's underneath to show through. Right? I'm going to just drag it along and create a dry brush finish on my skull. And this gives me an antiqued bone look. I feel like makes it feel more bony and more finished. A lot of times, one of the nice things about being able to do this online, when you're under time constraint sometimes to get something done, you don't necessarily get to take all those same design elements and put them in, or all those finishing bits. And believe it or not, y'all, we are part of an art movement.
For sure.
This has actually now become an art school, the Painting Party Art School. They haven't named it yet, but they know it's happening. And later, and this just, I tell you what, when I learned this, I literally felt chills. They'll look at this stuff.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Seriously. So I know all my designs and stuff like that are going to be considered, and I'm like, uh-oh. I better put that extra layer in.
Think about it.
I got to think about this a little bit.
Yeah, the history of all of this someday will be like, what?
Yeah, somebody will write a paper on it someday. I want to give them something good to talk about.
It's going to be someday. To you, future researcher who is watching this video going, oh my gosh, they could They're talking to me. Yes, you. You should find something more interesting to write about.
No. This is actually pretty interesting. What's happening with this arts and crafts movement is, to me, incredibly interesting. This broad embracing of being creative that's just happening globally, I think is incredible and is so good for the human race. Just opinion I have.
I agree. I mean, I'm here doing it with you, but I just, sometimes, you just know that the universe is just like the way it does.
So this is a little spotty.
What's spotty?
And scratchy and rough. And the reason that I'm going to put another little coat on my my toadstool here, because a lot of the purple was showing through. Right, and another little one on the cap here. So this here is pretty spotty, yeah? And that's okay. We don't mind that because we want that rough, bony, aged, antiqued look. I've even seen people come back with a glaze of like brown and age it out even more. Yeah. Not this design, because I made this design up. These are all mine. I actually do these. But, artists, like I love when you guys like change stuff up, or I start off an idea and then you guys run with it. And so I know I have seen you do things before, and I know you like to age your bones.
Now
age your bones.
We have a bunch of little brushes who are just on the edge of their seat trying to get to let us know that they're here.
Oh, okay.
So we have to say Tyler is just.
Hi, Tyler.
And I'm going to come over and.
What?
Tyler is there. Little brush Tyler says hi.
Hi, Tyler.
I think that Raven was saying hi.
Hi, Raven. Is everything okay?
Yeah, they wanted to meet you.
Oh, Tyler and Raven, hi. Thank you for painting with us today. I really tried to make sure. We just went to Miss Peregrine's school for particular children. And I just think it's important. I think kids love spooky things, but I think it's important to make sure that it's fun spooky things.
Yeah. We like spooky eye rocks.
Yeah.
And,
spooky, but not like terrorize you till tomorrow.
Yeah, not like.
So I'm taking a little of my CAD red light here. And remember to get, especially if you're painting with little brushes, get this in hue. But also for your pocketbook, just get it in hue.
Yeah.
So I'm pulling just a smidge out, and then I'm grabbing a little bit of my white. And what I'm trying to make is a kind of a bloodshot color. And that's very light. It's not, because of the type of red that CAD is, it's not really a pink. And it does lend itself to this bloodshot feeling. You can use a smaller brush in this space. I've got my number 8 bright right here, but you could use a smaller brush if it ever gives you comfort. Always be sure to change brushes to meet your needs.
It is a tool.
It is a tool, and you want to be comfortable in your tools.
Yeah.
Now I'm just dry brushing around this side because I just want to give it slightly a bloodshot cast because it makes me happy to do so. And I know I'm going to need kind of an underpainting here and here, so I'm going to go ahead and take a little of my blue over to my green. And you may even find I'm going to get just the corner of my brush. See how I just pulled the corner of my brush into it? Just pull out just the smallest amount of red and work it in there. It's going to really make it dark, like a forest green. And I'm going to paint my Audrey 3, another visitor to another planet at another time. A little more red. So I'm pulling this over there. I'm just wanting it to be dark so that when I put the bright colors on here, they really pop. I'm going to paint everything but the lips with the green. I'm going to leave the lips alone because I want them to be that bright, bright red. Paint this all in with the green. This dark, dark green. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Just painting it all in. Just painting it all in. Sometimes pieces are simple, but they just have a lot of steps in them.
You made Tyler's day.
I made Tyler's day?
Yeah.
Awesome, Tyler.
Art high fives, little dude.
High fives to everybody today, man. Coming in, painting live, having fun, thinking to yourself, and we have our, surprise painting, which is the Rainy Day City that, came out. But I'm so glad for everyone who's like really, really embraced the holiday. And we're going to have videos releasing in the holiday, like all the way up to.
Yeah, surprise video, a.k.a. stuff that we have to get out of the box. There's all this. We just
gets to be a lot.
There's so many. I have like a pile of little videos that I have yet to finish editing together, and yeah, I think surprise video means when John finishes editing.
It's a surprise to me. So I'm going to just take advantage of this time right here. I'm going to go on the edge of my brush. This is why brights sometimes are a really nice tool, because they give you a lot of control over your line. My pressure is light. I'm curving it around. As I'm coming down to the bottom, I press a little bit harder. Whenever I want to thicken the line, I just press a little bit harder. I'm pressing. And see I'm pressing?
I do.
And how that beautifully thickens it. And then at the bottom where I don't want to go right over my skull, I just lighten up. I put on my brakes. And just finish this out in little more considered brush strokes. Isn't that nice? I don't know if it's nice for you. It's nice for me.
It's really cool. There's an interesting question that was asked.
I'm happy to answer. I'm going to line this and answer an interesting question. I'm doing the same thing I did before.
So Morgan was saying, oh, I'm going the wrong way.
Pressing down, pressing down, pressing down.
So Morgan says, is there an upper limit to how many layers of paint you can put on a painting?
So we actually talked about doing 100-layer thing just to see what it was, like where I was going to just like do 100 paintings and then like gesso them out and see where the fail rate was.
Yeah.
But then I got so busy doing paintings just to release paintings for you guys to do because it would kind of stop a lot of our production.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where that is. I suspect the people that work gel skins are probably more familiar with where the fail rate might be.
Yep.
I know because a lot of times in gel skins they like to put support structures in there like netting.
Mm-hmm.
I think as long as the acrylic paint has a chance to cure and adhere to itself, I can't imagine where the limit is. Maybe like that thick. I don't know.
Weight. So is this a 2-hoot painting, you think?
I think this is a 2-hoot because there's just a lot of design going on in here. I'm going to press down, press down, press down, press down. Harder, harder, harder as I'm coming down. I don't want to go over what I do. Actually, I'm going to go over my black line because I'm going to create some layering. I'm trying to make things feel like they are further away or closer. Now, you notice how the paint was so translucent that the black lines show through? One thing that I can do is I can take my yellow ochre over to my green and come back here on this stem. I may need a couple coats, but look how it just made that black line disappear.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, trick if you're working student paint. Yellow ochre can help you cover up a lot of stuff if your paint isn't covering well. I am making my little leaf shapes here.
So,
leaf shapes.
Colleen's just joining us. She's a brand
Colleen,
new painter.
how you doing?
And so she's curious, can she use craft paints, like apple barrel and that kind of stuff to do this?
So the only thing that you have to think about with apple barrel paints or craft paints is color shift and coverage in color mixing.
What do you mean color shift?
So color shift is where paint darkens as it dries. So you just have to paint a little bit lighter in your palette. You might paint a shade lighter than I'm painting, so that when it darkens, it comes out where you want it to be. The other thing is sometimes, unless it's all the craft paints have a line of artist paints that mix as you would expect and are colors equivalent to the colors that I'm using. But some of the just straight apple barrel, like what you do like chip painting and different decorative painting, they may not mix colors as easily.
Or
they'll mix together, they'll incorporate, but the colors may be unexpected.
Right,
and then you just have to adjust for that. And if you're doing that, if you want to make your craft paint work, try our big Art Quest color chart video, because that whole thing is about taking what you have, figuring out what it does, so you can do anybody's tutorial or painting and not have to worry about having the exact materials.
Right.
Which I'm really into. And hopefully that answers well.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a little of my Cad Red over, just to darken it and to get it back into that forest range. And I'm going to paint around the eye. The eye of the daisy that stares at you from the garden. He's all mad about being planted here. No, I don't know that he is. He's probably just fine with it. Could be a girl, too.
Could be.
Could be all offended in every way. Now, a lot of times I try to keep these lessons to under an hour, but then sometimes on lives, if they're more involved, they end up being about an hour 20, hour 30. But a lot of that is about you guys being able to paint in real time along with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's still much shorter than a painting party and still free.
Yeah.
Which is always helpful.
What I want to do is I want you guys to go out there and have fun painting.
Now I'm going to load up my brush again. I'm going to start layering in my, actually, no, I can't put in my grasses till later because I have stripes right here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just add a second little coat to this stem since I loaded up the brush. And I'm going to add a second little, if you ever load up some paint and then you're like, wait, I'm not using it right now, just put it out where it would go. Give your stuff another coat.
Another layer.
You didn't have to waste it. You're like, layer it up. There, you're more resolved and finished than you meant to be. So weird.
You further considered your piece.
You have further considered your piece. I'm going to grab a number 2 bright so that I can keep layering.
Now, what is a bright?
A bright is more square than a flat. The bristles are shorter, so you get more control. A lot of times they're more tapered and resolved at the end. They're like, make a finer line. A shader tapers in, but a bright is just very, very square. And they'll usually say so on the brush somewhere.
Okay.
It'll be a bright or a flat. I don't know if I have any flats out. Oh, this is a flat. Versus this is a number 12 flat. And this is a number 12 bright.
Oh, gotcha.
See? So this just gives me a lot more control over what I'm doing than this. And sometimes this, even on a good firm filament, is still too soft for a heavy body paint. But is beautiful for craft paint or soft body paint.
Gotcha.
Just know what you're painting with. It's no big deal.
It's no
Big deal.
deal.
I'm not going to do that. What's
Sure.
wrong with me?
Because you're...
I have loaded a bead of black fluid paint to my 2 brush, and it's because it's going to give me nice, even Beetlejuicy stripes. And I'm just going to make some nice, evenly spaced Beetlejuicy stripes.
Beetle geese.
Beetle geese.
Beetle geese.
I might put out some white. Again, craft paint is soft-bodied, so you can buy what I have. I love what I have. I can totally happily recommend what I have. But if it's not in your budget, you always have to respect your art budget. Otherwise, it isn't fun.
So Little Brush Raven paints with craft paint and says that you just have to do a couple layers.
There you go. See, just know your media, your material. That's all it is. I put some stripes there.
Stripes.
And while I've got this number 2 out, I'm going to do my weird little daisy eye. Put a little dot in the center here, looking at you like it does. And I'm just going to have a fun, loose daisy pattern, a little bit sugar skull-like in the center.
Well, I want to say that Monica just said thank you. She's really grateful for these free tutorials. That this is one of the she really needs this resource because she's on disability and dialysis and has some limited resources. So this is and I know you don't get to read those comments. So
I appreciate them so much because it's why I started the channel.
Yeah.
I know how expensive art education is because my mom and I paid for mine. So.
And we're really grateful to have you guys
Felt
here
it.
with us painting along and sharing your artwork. So it's a very reciprocal journey. We're very happy to show you, all the stuff that we're doing up here. So your sippy mug.
I need new coffee. Can
know
y'all
what?
put up with me getting new coffee?
I think
we're all just hanging out together, right?
I think so. I'll tell you what. I'll do that. I'll go get you another coffee here.
Do y'all want to do like a intermission pee break?
Okay, we'll do that. We'll do it. I'll throw a Lisa just took off for hers. She was like, I think that she was just like, I have to run.
Little pee. I need one. Do you need one? I just had a cup. I need a new cup of coffee and a pee break.
You need a pee break. All right. So how does this work? How this works is that I, the button pusher.
Oh, and before you guys all ask, it's Breathe by Jam Studio on premiumbeats.com because afterwards you're going to be like, who did the song?
Who did the song?
That's who did the song.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I will go ahead and see if I can push the buttons while the Sherpa is over here doing a dance.
It's my baby dance. I'm like a Teen Titan over here. All the kids know what I'm talking about. It's the pee-pee dance.
So what I'll do is I'll throw
Me and
this on.
Starfire.
I think I got my buttons ready to be pushed.
Okay.
So what I'll do is I'll throw this up here, and then we'll take a quick little break, and we'll be back in 3 minutes.
Okay.
White sand, blue bay, hand in hand, slept there for days. Light wind, gray haze. Eye to eye, we parted ways. Meet me under the ocean. Save me from surface rejection. Tell me you crave my affection. Forever be waves of my ocean. Soft stepped hard shells, shallow whispers in deep swells. Help me catch my breath, we're getting higher. Imagining your face, you're my desire. Meet me under the ocean. Save me from surface rejection. Tell me you crave my affection. Forever be waves of my ocean. Take me back to where it all began. Show me myself without the shell. When beauty was enough to save from yourself. Make me under the ocean. Save me from surface rejection. Tell me you crave my affection. Forever be waves of my ocean.
So you're back. We're back to an empty chair where the Sherpa is going to be coming to see you very soon. There she is. But she's not plugged in yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over there. I'm going to plug that Sherpa in. Okay. I have to turn it up here. I'm going to turn you up, see if I can hear you. Nope, you got to push a button. You have to push a button. There it goes. There's the button. Now I can hear you. I can hear you again.
Anything
Sherpa.
you see in the back is a tutorial already
Yeah.
behind me.
It's all a
How
tutorial.
you guys doing? Are you enjoying the project? You feeling okay?
I think they're doing okay.
Succeeding?
I'm gonna go back
Feeling
over
like
here.
a winner because you're winner.
I'm going to go back over here and look at and see what we have going on.
Remember, don't look at the person next to you and be like, oh, I like yours better than mine. Don't do that. Everybody's art is valid. We're not supposed to be copy machines. And if you're feeling frustration when yours is not totally exactly like mine, take a breath and realize that's good because that's called forgery and it's against the law. So don't do that. Be an original. Be yourself. be those things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get my little dotty thing out.
You're going to your dotty thing.
This is my little dotty tool. And all I do is I dip it in, right? And I come up here and I just make some dots. Guess what else I could use?
What's that?
Well, I'll show you one. I've got a brush here, small brush. I could also just use the back of my brush.
Oh,
if
yeah.
I happen to have a dotty thing, it's nice to use my dotty thing. But if I don't have a dotty thing, just use your brush.
Cool. So is that a nail art tool?
I don't know. It's some crafting dot tool that all my friends use for dabbing paint. I got this idea from Leanne over at Silver Creek Studio.
Interesting.
So if you've ever watched any of her videos, she does a lot of dots, like the little dot arts that are so popular.
Yeah.
And I was like, how's she doing that? And I realized, I was talking to her, it's one of these thingies that some of you are probably screaming the name of in chat right now.
Yeah, they're all like, it's a nail art tool. We have them all.
Okay, see, so many of you already have them. So now I've switched to black dots.
Black dots.
Black dots. I know y'all love that song. The ocean song.
Oh, yeah. The ocean song is really good.
I was the one who found it first and then convinced John we had to have it. And we looked at that song forever because we buy our music.
Yep.
Because we've decided to not make money on our YouTube channel, to spend money. No, I'm kidding. We do okay. And so when we purchased it, I was pretty excited. And then I'm going to make little dots around my eyes because I just think they're nice decoratively. See, little dots around the eyes. There's a nice little touch that you can do. Now, right about now, I have to mist my paint because it's starting to do what I call skinning. And when paint starts to skin, it starts to creep up your brush. You guys ever had that happen where it creeps up your brush? So I don't want it to creep up my brush like the blob. Hopefully everyone knows what I'm talking about. By the way, your homework is to watch Westworld.
Oh, yeah.
So you know what I'm referencing in future, because there's going to be a lot of Westworld talk. And, just saying, if you're not already on, you got to watch Game of Thrones, you got to watch Westworld. Some of these shows you got to watch, so you know what I'm yammering on about.
Now, I've noticed that there are a couple people here in chat who are talking about how they're having a hard day, a little down day, and that they were coming to tune into the Sherpa to see about finding their way back to a happier, better state of mind.
I love this time of year and then also dread this time of year. Like, creatively, it's so fun because suddenly all my art skills are like a superpower.
Yeah.
But then it's also like, hey, you need to come over and paint this castle.
Yeah.
You know? Or some crazy thing, and it's the stress and the crap. Like, I was like in Michael's, and my Michael's is pretty mellow, but like even just recently, the last vibe in Michael's was a little intense. It's a little intense. The sale was a little keyed up. I don't know if you've had that experience. You're starting to feel that holiday stress like creeping in, like that. I got this family coming for this, and I got, you know what I mean? Like all the pressure and expectations and perfectionism and all the just craziness that comes with it. So I love the decor. I love the reason to change up the house constantly. I love the reason to take all these art school skills and make tons of projects. Like, I can't wait till we start painting glasses and all kinds of goofy other things that we can do with these fabulous art skills like we did with the rocks. But it can really be a thing to just try to keep your mellow during a holiday season. So let's all take a deep breath.
Yeah.
And let it out.
Just sort of lean into the relaxation.
Yeah, lean into the peace and calm that your canvas is giving now.
Mm-hmm.
Keep those art projects going. Do those tutorials. Like, if you need to paint this today, right now with me, and then meet back up for Angela's birch trees, do it.
Yeah, dude. There's
then go hit the palette knife, because y'all need to work on your palette knives.
And if you get bored, if you go over there, I know where there's over 1,200 videos with a whole lot of interesting things to do. Yeah. And Lindsay puts a new one up every day.
Every day,
Lindsay
or
the
nearly
Frugal
every
Craft.
day. I don't know if she's every day still, or she's a lot.
There's like,
it's a lot of video.
But Lindsay is she should be the prolific crafter.
The prolific crafter. She is a really busy girl. And she's in her big time too, because she writes articles and stuff like that. We're all for YouTube DIY. This is our time, man. These are our tent poles. Things are crazy. November 5th, I've got a collab coming up with Angela Anderson for Mythical Beasts. I've got something I'm working on with the Crafty Chica on Frida Kahlo, so hopefully we'll be able to pull that together for you guys by the end of the year, because I love Frida. I especially love Frida for people who are living with injury or health issues, because I think she is the patron saint artist of that. Mm-hmm. If you're not familiar with her, look her up, look up her life story, prepare to cry and be inspired. And then also I'm trying to pull together, she's also super, why am I yellow?
Oh my gosh. What happened?
The rest of this painting will be brought to you by The Colored Yellow.
Oh, I don't even know what that was.
The poll took over from the website. Be sure and check out the website, TheArtSherpa.com. I'm on there. I'm blogging. I'm sharing extra information. I'm also trying to get something together with Tamara Laporte from Willowing, where we're going to do a piece on transformation. But we're working that schedule out. So trying to do that. And Steve French from Woodworking. Cool. Woodworking project, woodworking crossover. So I'm trying to do some stuff. And we've had a lot of Mark Charles, it's Woodworking with Mark Charles. He just did a really cool video where he did the Witch Sisters. You should check out. I don't know. Stuff is going on. It's a busy, busy time of year. I'm taking a little of my black and I'm pulling it out. Oh, and the collab on November 5th with Angela also has Leanne of Silver Creek Studios, and she's going to do a really cool project that I have not been given permission to tell you about, but it sounds awesome with us. I've made a glaze with my black, and I'm just going to glaze a shadow underneath my skull. And I'm going to pull it straight out. This is a very important step in your painting. On any of your still lifes, on any of your paintings, remember to put shadows under your objects. Even if you're painting from fantasy, always, always add that shadow. It's a very, very important thing. Otherwise, it'll look like your objects are floating in space. They're lost in space. And I'm going to take some of the shadow up the side because I like it.
Cool. But we're enjoying my coffee.
Are you liking your coffee? So, sorry to catch you guys up on the news. I suppose that's really a Sunday Funday show thing. Just
speaking of like DIY in the art sector, we got our Threadbanger box, which I'm looking forward to opening.
Oh, so looking forward. We've been like on air, off air, on air, off air.
I know Rob is not as incompetent as he plays on YouTube.
No, he's not.
I'm sure he could cut his finger off
I still think
anytime
is
he
more
wanted
competent, but yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, but I think Rob's actually got some skills because I used to watch the show before it was a Pinter test.
Yeah. I know he has some throwdown in him. Well, I would love to see him genuinely be like, all right, dude, no, I'm going to represent. Let's go.
Let's go.
And like do something awesome. Like I would totally do a steampunk, self-propelled vehicle thing. That would be awesome.
I think they are with the new craft box. I'm pulling this yellow out. If you don't know who we're talking about, Threadbanger is one of the first oldest DIY channels on YouTube. And it's a couple team that does them. It's Rob and Corinne. So I'm going to just bring this yellow in the center of all these petals all the way around. Anyways, they're really fantastic. They do some great projects. And right now, they test Pinterest myths and debunk them or show you how to make them work. Because I don't know about you, but if y'all are Pinterific and you're Pinaddicts, you know that many of the pins on Pinterest are just crazy nonsense. That's actually how we got our, I'm going to pull a little Cad Red out and work it into my yellow. I'm going to get this bright kind of orange from that I really like. Like even the eyeballs that we just did in rocks, that was based off of a Pinterest myth. Where somebody was like passing around these glass eyes and saying that they were rocks. But it got repinned a lot. So I guess for some people, the lie is as good as the truth. I don't know.
Yeah, so we were like...
So I'm just sort of taking this around. I'm going to come back with the Cad Red Pure.
Oh, yeah.
When it's done, I just want to create my petal shapes, and I'm just using my brush to do these. They don't have to be perfect, and again, like I said, I'm going to come back.
We should give fair warning that Threadbanger does curse a lot.
Oh, yeah. It's not safe for work.
Well, it depends on your work space.
Okay, but in general, not safe for work. Probably not for kids, small kids. It's definitely, I don't know if it's R or PG-13. I'm never sure how they'd run the ratings anymore.
It is young adult young adult brushes.
Young adult brushes. Slightly, not you don't have to be all the way a mature brush, but dude.
You should be comfortable with robot chicken.
Yeah, if you're comfortable with robot chicken, you can handle Friday. And now you know a lot more about us.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of trying to put these petals in and get this sort of ombre going, where there's sort of more yellow in the center.
Some ombre.
Ombre. And I may... Whoop, I went a little crazy with my petal there, but I don't care. And then I'm going to, while this is all still wet, I'm going to get either a number 4 or a number 2 bright, just something I have more control over. And I'm going to get my Cad Red light. And just make sure that I work the outside of my petals. You can go ahead and just feather that darker shade in. Just give it some shape and structure. Fun stuff. If I were doing one stroke, we would have already had this all done from the one stroke technique. Because I would have loaded the brush with all 3 colors and just done them in one stroke. Which is, I guess, the attraction of that.
Yeah.
The one and done. I get it. I see it. I respect the hustle on that. So see, we're just getting that all beautifully sort of worked out. I think I put more petals on this one. See, even when I do these paintings, they're not the same every time I do them.
Yeah.
I go off my own lesson plan, and just get into my painting. And then I'm like, oh, look at this. I'm doing this. You know, this isn't like a rehearsed thing.
Okay.
This is just art.
So
We're just arting.
So there's a lot of people who don't know what one stroke techniques are.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
there's an artist called Donna Dewberry. And I think it's a whole... I'm not even sure she's the inventor of it, but I know she's probably their most famous artist. And it uses soft body craft paints and softer bristle brushes. And Angela Anderson actually has a lot of experience. She's trained in this. Where you load the brush up with a couple colors, and then the stroke creates a whole object. So, like, you paint the rose in a couple strokes, or you paint it, and it's really kind of very cool. I have respect for it. Sometimes one stroke technique is put down in the fine art community, but I think that's just silly.
Yeah.
Because we all just artists here, and it's really about design and thought and form and stuff. And
techniques are tools. All of them are valid.
Techniques are tools, and all of them are valid. I'm coming around this, and I've decided to sort of line this with this bright orange. Because, again, I'm usually just here arting with you. I go my own way.
We're just arting along.
We're just arting along. So now that I have this bright flower kind of in, I'm pretty happy with that.
Are you?
I am.
Frisky Christie says she's a million-stroke painter.
Million-stroke painter. Now I feel like this is all dry. I can kind of sketch in what I want my little tentacle to do. So I'm going to draw it here. I like it to come across the nose, over, down, and up like this. I like it to be sort of wavy. I'm probably going to do this with my number 4. Right? I'm going to put out some more green because I've run out of it. Always put out more paint. I put out a little more paint than I might need in a project, but that's a lot about you guys being able to see it and not about it being the amount of paint you should put out for a painting. You should probably only put out what you need and try not to overload your palette. But I have to be very visible from camera, so we have different requirements. So I've taken a little of my Cad Red, a small amount, and I'm adding it to my green. I am definitely having to mist now and add my glazing medium just to get coverage. And I'm going to lay in the basis of my planty tentacle. I might even need to add some yellow ochre just to get that coverage that I'm hoping for. These are little things that you figure out as you're going along. See how that makes a big difference?
Mm-hmm.
Go figure. Need to add a little water because I'm not having good flow. You can see how I kind of incorporated the water through the paint and improved the fluidity. Gets more like olive oil. Takes the body out of it. And I'm just trying to paint the body of this fun little tentacle down. As we come up, I will be pulling my paintbrush up to lighten the line. To make it thinner and taper it. Was funny.
Illuminati confirmed.
What?
Will you make heart hands to let everyone know you're safe, Sherpa?
No. No more. Our hands are over. I had no idea that your community might call the police on you. I was like, what?
Everyone's like, wait, what? What are you talking about?
Marina Joyce.
We're just bringing in random YouTube pop culture here.
Every once in a while for no reason to benefit. You know, it's just, there's no reason to do it,
brought
but
up
we
in,
do it anyways.
It got brought up in chat is what happened.
Take my fluid paint on my detail brush, and I'm going to, while I have a chance, refine my smile back into my plant here.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's going to need that. Also, another fun thing I can do while I've got this right now is I can come and sort of outline this flower. Why is she growling?
She is, I think she was watching Sesame Street, and there were some dinosaurs.
Oh, okay.
It's dinosaur time.
I'm going to pull out little Sputnik, little spires off of this, and then use the back of the brush to create little dots within dots.
Ooh.
It's just a fun decorative thing. Does it take extra time? Yeah, it does, but I really like the effect and look of it, and it just makes it more interesting in my opinion.
Gotcha.
Just an opinion, though, so if you're like not into it, you don't have to do it, but if you're like, oh, that's kind of cool, it's just a neat touch, and sometimes it's these touches that will make the biggest difference in like a painting. And I like the little Sputnik.
Yeah, I like it too.
Sputnik. That's from like Tri-5 design era right there. I'll tell you that right now. And we're actually not that far from done.
No, we're really pretty close.
Yeah. So hang in.
I'm digging it.
You digging it?
I'm digging it.
I'm digging it too. I'm rinsing out my brush a lot because I'm going to put in the lips, which are just the Cad Red. And as neatly as you can paint them in. You know, pick a brush that gives you control and a good line. That's important. Otherwise, it'll get away from you. And you may have to put back your tooth or your lips or those things, and never be afraid that you've got to put back part of your painting. This is acrylic paint, and that's always doable. I do think that the tooth is important. My 2 cents. Now, while my brush still has the red paint on, I'm going to load up just a little bit of my yellow. And you can see it's just a bead on here. And I'm going to pull it up on the inside of the lip. And down a little bit. Just to give it a little highlight. Just a little dramatic flare. I'm going to rinse my brush. This next part's kind of fun. I'm going to take a little of my yellow ochre and a little of my green. And I can start pulling up these little sort of weird grasses. You can even let them go over the skull a little bit. And this creates some depth in my floral. You want depth in your floral, don't you?
Ooh, I do.
Yeah.
I want
so
deep
I layer
floral.
this up over even my mushrooms a little bit.
I want my floral so deep it goes Freud.
And I'm using the yellow ochre to have good coverage. And I'll come back with some bright greens and some other colors here. But this just gives me some nice elements. And while I've got this nice lighter green, I'm going to come up here and make kind of an eyelid with my ochre. Can you see the eyelid?
I think so. You can try highlight that one more time there.
There we go. We've got just the yellow ochre.
Now I see what
my
you're doing.
brush has green on it, so it's just sort of a brighter green. And I'm just enforcing this eyelid, and I'm going to come underneath with that and enforce that as well. Doesn't take a lot. It's just a nice touch. Doesn't take a lot. It's just a nice touch. And I had to rinse my brush out because it was overloading, which is why I rinsed it out. I wasn't actually changing colors. I'm going to add some of this highlighty green to my stem. Maybe this stem friend, just to give it some depth.
Ooh.
Now, grab your 2-inch bright. Not
number
2
2 bright?
That's a number 2 bright. I'm going to have a sip of coffee.
A coffee up. Now,
I've been painting a lot. Like, did y'all see the lips for Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Okay.
I have to tell you, those took me 26 minutes to paint. Those were the easiest things I've painted, like, in 2 months.
Clearly, the Sherpa has not, like, you know, been wiggling enough here and has lost her way.
I've lost my way.
You lost your way.
Oh, is it dancey dance
it's
time?
Dancey dance
It's a good
time.
dance break time.
I think that's why I'm saying is I think that you need some coffee. You need some dancing.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Yeah, I did.
And for all of you guys, I want to invite you out to our home on the intertubes, TheArtSherpa.com, where the party continues all the time. You know, we've got lots of people signing up. We always have new stuff going on out there.
Safe, nice place to share your art. We do check it out, but you guys are also sharing with each other, and it's just a great place to post what you're doing.
And it's growing every day. Thanks to you guys, we're out there and we're changing and adding things, making it fun, and we promise new stuff will be coming that's going to just keep it fun. Just blow your mind.
Blow your mind.
And it's awesome. And
it is awesome.
And we love you guys for coming. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for comment, subscribing, and sharing. And I'll let you get back to your regularly scheduled Sherpa.
All right. I'm going to just take this green, just the straight green. And I'm going to be making little scale-like dashes with just this straight green. Isn't that interesting?
It is interesting.
Just straight little dashes. These are scales. They're like scales. You want them. You know you want them. Oh, and while I've got this, go ahead and just put in your green eyeball. Right there. I did blue up there. Okay. What color eyeball did I do up there? But this one you want green.
I'm going to move this up here.
Let that dry.
I couldn't really see that. I'm going to give them a little zoom in on that so they can see what you just did there. See, you have to add that green there to it.
I just added a little green in the center because it needs to dry. A lot of times in paint is just knowing you need a layer there and it needs to dry. And that's all you're really up against. So I'm just adding this scale texture below the smiling mouth.
Can we actually do that real quick?
Below the smiling mouth. Now I can come and get a little of my yellow ochre. And I start blending that. And it's just a slight texture, but it does make a difference. And then I'm going to get some yellow. I'm going to pull out my yellow into my green, and I'm going to make a brighter green. And I'm going to be adding these little scales in. This is with the cad yellow, not the yellow ochre. You can just do a little bit right here. And I'm just dashing in using my 2-inch these sort of little scales. It's like a texture. The texture implies what's happening. Isn't that fun? And I'm going to add a little bit of white, if I can remember where I put my white, to this. So it's yellow, green, and white. So it's a little bit lighter. And I'm going to come up over the top with that. Look at that. Just scaling that. Isn't that fun how that just comes together? And then Audrey looks pretty darn good. Audrey 3 here.
I like that. I'm going to see if I can get that. Okay, adjust the focus a little bit.
There we go. Take some of this brighter green while you've got it. And go ahead and just do some little extra textures in these leaves here. And maybe a little bit right here. And then hit that in your grass too. While you've got that brighter green and yellow. Hit it in your grass. And then this is interesting. I'm gonna put my little thorns in now. And all I do is come down the spike and then pull out a little stroke. Come down the spike and pull out a little stroke. So this is the yellow and the green, and if you need some white, add some white to it. Don't make it minty though. You can even do dashes if you need to, and then you just pull out a little thorn.
So if you don't mind, I'm gonna answer
so it's
a
just
question.
a little flick out there is a little thorn.
We have a question here in chat.
Okay.
I was gonna get to here real quick. Rhonda was asking if there are any magazines that help explain acrylic painting. And I was gonna suggest justpaint.org.
Yeah.
It really breaks down.
I think that's maybe one of the best resources.
For just a straight up understanding of acrylic paint and how it works and what it does. It's one of the best resources out there.
It's free.
It's completely free. And it's one that I've come to use. It's and it is the chemists and the scientists behind the paint behind paint companies coming in saying this is what it is. This is how oil stuff works. And
it's really helpful.
It's very helpful.
Very, very, very helpful.
So there's a free resource for you. You can go check that out there. And
I'm going to take a little of my purple over to my phthalo, and I'm going to just real quick put in this eye right here.
I'm going to get up early.
Because Halloween has been brought to you by eyeballs.
Ooh, the eyes have it. Oh, speaking of it, I better get back on the ball.
What happened?
Doing. Oh, not that button. Where's the button? Is it this button? There's the button.
What's the button?
The picture-in-picture button.
Oh, thank you.
Ooh. Oh, and the D. The D is asking, who do I need to contact for closed captioning help?
Oh.
And that would be our own Crazy Daisy Lou, who you can find on our website, TheArtSherpa.com. She is heading up a closed captioning group and forum post there.
It's been amazing. You guys are doing amazing. And you will be getting points for the Hero Program for YouTube, even for captioning that you're doing now.
Yeah.
Is what they told us.
So, yeah.
I'm not in charge of anything at YouTube. That's just what they told us.
News on the street is for you YouTube heroes out there. We know that you haven't yet shown us your uniform. You're all in incognito right now. But YouTube recognizes your good deeds and apparently will be rewarding you with your points at some later undisclosed date.
I'm going to pull out some white paint. I'm pulling out a little white onto my number 4 bright and a little bit onto my number 4 with the blue. See how I haven't mixed it?
Yep.
John's going to continue to out the superheroes.
I'm just going on. I like my...
And I'm going to just make a wiggle petal.
I love that our community is so helpful, and I'm really glad to see that they're going to get some recognition for it. So.
I'm super glad about that, too. It's pretty awesome. I got the bead.
So to answer Dee's question, though... Sorry. Go ahead. You got the bead.
No, you go.
You got the bead.
All right.
We're here for the
I'm
painting.
going to press down and then wiggle out. Press down and wiggle out.
We're getting a little
Press
punchy.
down and wiggle. Press down and wiggle. So that's how I get those petals, if you were wondering how they happen.
Yep. Sometimes I get a little chatty with the community.
No, you need to be chatty. Chatty is awesome. I'm totally supportive of John's chatty. Sometimes I get to painting and he gets to chatting, and then I get a note saying, you didn't explain any of that. I'm sorry, you're right. I just painted it and didn't explain it.
And I get notes. Stop interrupting the Sherpa.
So we get notes. Notes happen. We get the notes. I'm going to take my red brush and give myself some little blood vessels. And so I've got my
Where are you going? Which eye?
10/0 brush, and I'm working it into my glazing medium because I really need to make this more fluid. And I've loaded the brush up to about the halfway point. I'm going to come up to this eyeball. And much like my twigs, I'm going to just take a nice fine line and branch out some little blood vessels. Maybe somebody made the flower cry. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's red-eyed.
It needs some Vaseline.
It does.
Or
It's
maybe
having
to
a
go
little
to
moment.
bed early.
Huh?
Or maybe to go to bed early.
Yeah, maybe it just stayed up partying. That's what happened. Just put some little...
Or maybe he's like, I'm just born this way. Stop judging my eye.
Stop judging my eyes. The next one's sort of interesting because I like to outline the outer edge in the red. And then add the blood vessels coming in because he has not been gifted blinky eyes. So they're probably quite dry.
I can imagine they squeak, squeak when they blink.
Yeah, squeak, squeak. Like Brax.
Like Brack.
All right, so I'm still like loading it up and trying to keep it fluid. And that's really the trick. I'm either adding water or this medium to make it fluid. And I'm going to just art in little vining, deviating. So, I take a little line out, reload, take a little line out, and then break another blood vessel and another blood vessel off. It's not that different than tree branches, actually. Just making it bloodshot.
So Johnny would like to know if this is the right place for the live Sherpa show.
This is exactly the right place, Johnny, for the live Sherpa show.
How do we know it's live?
Because we're talking to you right now, Johnny. Saying your name.
How you doing?
So, wait.
Hi.
Now you see me, Johnny? Now you see me? It's live.
Oh, and we are on that note Sherpa.
Did we Sherpa?
We did. We are Sherpa on that.
We got 300 people or 300 likes?
300 likes. 301 likes. It's John E.
John E.
John E.
John E.
We are Sherpa.
All right, I can dance right now.
You're doing your little Sherpa dance. And this is our thank you. And remember to wiggle your toes and wiggle your nose. And Johnny's it. Oh, Joni. It's Joni, not Johnny. I'm Joni. I'm such a goofball.
Sorry, Joni. Joan E.
Joni.
Joan E.
And you see, so
Well,
you know.
how else could we be so goofy and confused if we weren't live?
This is only better when I mispronounce Joe. And I'm like, it's Joa. And he's come to us from far off. No, it's Joe from down the street.
John's got a thing he's doing. I don't know.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I'm back to painting blood vessels here and there.
So Lady Whitefang is jumping on her sofa.
Hi, Lady Whitefang.
So art high fives to that. Let your.
It is the middle of the night for her, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm all for it. I think it is definitely a good time to
I'm
wiggle your
grabbing
toes.
some white paint and defining my little tooth here. Little trick I found, it can help to define a black line, is to come and give it a white line. So I'm going to just very carefully while I'm here give this little mouth a little white line.
Get that focus.
Rinse off my brush and make sure that my black line at the lip is defined enough. Like so, just a little bit on the outside here, and then back in here. See? So it's all nice and defined.
Gail, you're right. She's like, John needs a phonics class. I'm like, phonics? What's a phonics class?
Oh, he's just a goof. Don't even worry about it. I'm going to take my number 2, and I'm going to get my black. I'm going to put in a little, see it's all glumpy? See how it's glumpy? Because it dried out. I'm going to go get my fluid paint because I don't want to deal with lumpiness.
Now, can you reconstitute the glumpy paint?
No, once it started to cure, it started to cure.
Let me get up here and see. Don't do that yet. I got to see what you're doing. Okay.
I'm just trying to put in an iris, but
no, that's a good technique. Wait. Go back to that because how you do that iris. I want to see that.
Well, let me switch twos because this two
Okay.
is just making me miserable. I'm going to switch to my shader because right now my number 2 is not making me happy, and I'm going to get my number 2 shader. A shader is a little different than a bright, and then it's a little bit tapered.
And I want you to show them the iris rotate.
Okay,
on
I'm
the
going to do it
edge
up
of
here.
Which one? Okay.
Right up here.
All right.
So I'm going to come here, and I'm going to just press and rotate. I'm just rotating around, and I'm just trying to use the brush. I'm going to refine it here because it got crazy on me because my 2 is out of control. It's out of control! I'm going to get a little of my green, and I'm going to, maybe with a little with my black, so it's like a deep green eyeliner. I'm going to come on the inside of my eye just to define this, like you do. Almost done.
Mm-hmm. What's next? Sherpa.
We're finishing out the eyes.
The eyes have it.
The eyes have it. I'm going to take a little of my blue. I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to get a little of my white, like you do. I might grab some glazing so it has a nice flow. And I'm going to start coming on the inside of the eye, making little dashes. I'm leaving it dark here and dark on the outer edge. This is just in little dashes, letting the paint show through. And then I might come and add an even brighter highlight, more white on that, just on the inside here. Breaking that up so there's even a bigger highlight there. Then get your just blue.
Can you push that canvas up a little bit there?
Which the palette or the canvas?
The palette. There you go.
Okay. Just the blue. If you need to get some purple, get some purple. But what you want is a darker color. And just make sure that your outer iris is got this nice dark line that's defined. And it's really about balancing those two things. If you lose the light inside the eye, get your white, come back, put it back in.
When you get done there putting that in there, can you go over to your dried paint on the canvas and talk a little bit about what curing is and what skinning is? Because they don't understand. There's some new people here who don't understand what curing is.
So I have paint that started to dry. And when I press into it, it doesn't even necessarily pick up on my brush like it should. And this one here is like a glump.
So is curing another word for drying?
It's drying, yeah.
Okay.
It's drying. Sorry.
No, that's okay. So dry, and as it dries, it can get clumpy or
It gets really clumpy, and then it starts to creep up your brush.
And so that's
like the blob. And that's super annoying.
And so in our studio with all these lights and things,
it cures real fast.
We're fighting that all the time.
All the time. So I'm just trying to make sure I've got my number 4 right here, and it's got some pretty dry brushing on it. I'm just trying to make sure that I have the little lights, the highlights on that going like you do. I'll let that dry for a minute because I need to put a shadow and a highlight in and lashes.
Ooh.
Now I'm going to get my number 2 again. I'm going to have to put out some more green because I'm just out of it. I'm going to put it over by my fresh red because everything is losing. Oh, too much. If ever you squeeze out too much, sometimes if you release the tube, it'll suck it back in.
Oh, yeah, you can use like a little vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, like a little vacuum cleaner. I just did that. So I'm going to take a little of this red over to this green to make my deep forest on my shader. And I'm going to come around this.
I'm going to come over and watch it.
And make this dark green outline on this eyeball. And I'm just using my shader because it's smaller and it gives me some control over the stroke even in this small space. Once I have that, I'm going to rinse this out. I'm going to get a little bit of my yellow. Take a smidge of green. I'm going to make a very bright color. You may need some white to get coverage. It's loaded all on the tip there. And I'm going to just pull out brush strokes of that high green all around, but leaving the outer dark edge. And you'll find this is a balance of painting it out, putting it back, painting it out, putting it back. So I lost a little of my dark edge there. So I'm going to come pick up my dark color and just add it back. See, I'm just dashing it back. Don't worry about it. I'm just dashing it back. Now, I'm going to pull out some of my yellow, and it's kind of corrupted with the green I had out earlier, but it's mostly yellow. I'm going to just, not everywhere, but add some sparked highlights. What's the dance music?
Just because it's that time of day.
Did we have 300 people?
No, but everybody's feeling dancy and chat. They're like, Sherpa should be wiggling. John, turn the music up for the Sherpa. John, make that Sherpa dance, John. So I'm like, make the Sherpa dance.
Okay. Now, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out a little of my black paint. And a little of my white paint. It's going to give me gray. And I'm going to get my glaze. I don't want very much pigment on this because I'm trying to create a shadow. And I don't want very much pigment. And I'm going to come just underneath the lid here with this glaze. You could do a dry brush, but I'm just trying to put a little shadow under the eye. Can you see the shadow?
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit of one. And what's great is I can take my detail brush and have a good deal of fun putting in my liner and my eyelashes. Just come right up over the lid with your detail brush. Love the beats. Hopefully it's not too loud for everybody.
Oh, it's just loud for you.
Is it just loud for me?
I just turned the studio music up for you.
Oh, okay. Am I running out of energy or something?
No. Okay. You were saying that you liked the music and that I don't turn it up enough for you, and so I was just trying to be accommodating. I just trying to be nice.
You are
Give
nice.
Me more music.
Help me make this show. You
dance,
are nice.
Sherpa. I make you dance.
No, I think I'm okay. I gotta paint. So I'm gonna pull these eyelashes up. My trick with my eyelashes is a lot like my trick with my branches, in that I press hard when I press in.
Uh-huh.
When I'm on the left-hand side, I'm gonna curve left. When I'm on the right-hand side, I'm gonna curve right. And that's how I get it. I don't go straight up. I'm curving. See the curve?
They're like, we like the music. Turn it back up.
Curving. I'm just going to curve it. Curving it out. Curving.
Frisky's like, this reminds me of the one-eyed flying purple people eater.
This could be its cousin.
This
so
is,
now that these,
this is its pupa stage.
right, these eyelashes are in, you can take your brush and dip the handle in and go dot, dot.
Oh, for the reflection.
Yep.
That's really
Come
good.
here and go dot, dot. And then, there's my little needle tool. And then if you want to do the extra decorative element, you can come dip your needle tool and just come around and hit the center of each of these dots.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Just decoratively. Your decision, your choice. Because we are literally, when I come to the end of the dots, done. We've done it. Oh, I got to sign it.
You got to sign it.
I need to sign it. I'm going to sign it.
Because this was a fun painting.
It is a big, goofy, fun painting, isn't it?
I had a really good time here and chat with everybody today. I don't know. I mean, like, maybe I was having more fun than maybe everybody else was. But
Everybody needs to have a fun day.
We were having, and everyone's getting down in chat, giggling and dancing and carrying on.
So here you go. This is how you paint this really fabulous Halloween bouquet. And once you understand these flowers and these processes, you can make all kinds of custom arrangements for yourself. You don't have to just stay limited to what I did. Your imagination is the only limitation that...
I was trying to push the other button.
Which button?
This button. I'll get it up here in a second.
Okay.
It's the normal button that I normally hit, but I pushed the wrong one. The one that goes like that. See? I'm doing my best here today.
You're doing great.
I'm
Listen.
So many buttons.
He's amazing. And he runs crazy. I know you guys know this. He runs crazy complicated equipment. And we, our kids get up at the crack of dawn because school. Because we'd like them to, go there.
School happens.
And get education. They don't agree with us on this policy, but we're pretty adamant about it.
Oh, this is a good question. I want you to get to this one real quick before we go, because I've seen this come up. So Fables asks, I can't afford to buy glazing medium right now, but my paint dries super fast. Can I use PVA glue
No.
Instead of a proper varnish in the end to prevent discoloration through PVA?
No.
Okay.
That is a paint urban myth. There are a lot of paint urban myths of things that you can add to paint that you actually cannot add to paint.
Yeah.
PVA glue, definitely. I mean, will it burst into flames when you add it? No, it's not chemically reactive. There's a lot of things you can add to paint that won't immediately burst into flames. Something that you can do that's really inexpensive that will help keep your paint from drying out. I have a video on how to make a DIY wet palette and a micro mister. These are a little different. You can find these all kinds of places in that they don't do big water droplets. Just mist your paint more often.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do. And it's a $1 solution.
And a real quick note from
don't do PVA glue, but definitely mist with water. I just forget to mist, and I've gotten attached to the glazing. But you just go like that, and you can see how it's not leaving big water droplets, but it leaves an overall mist. You put this sucker in my DIY cake plate palette for wet palette, and you've got your paint will last longer, it will hold longer, it won't dry out on you as quickly. Don't work near the air conditioning unit.
Yeah.
Because that really, more than anything, sucks the moisture out of your paint.
Sherpa Research Department has come back, after we have talked to many manufacturers, their recommendation is do not add any household products or personal care products to your paint unless they are specifically designed for paint, and therefore no household or personal product should be used.
So what'll happen is, like, so say you're painting and you use one of the more intriguing experimental products to your paint, as we're all tempted to do as artists, right? If you have a problem with the painting, the manufacturers in general won't then honor the product.
They can't help you.
They can't.
Because they've not done research on additives which are not designed.
Well, they have, but the thing is there's too many additives. Like, you couldn't just say hair gel, because hair gel isn't one formulation across every company.
Yeah, and the additives in it are not controlled or by any standard, and it has its own dyes and pigments. And
perfumes and who knows
all
how they're
sorts of
reactive
things.
with the paint. You can't realize in this stuff there's anti-foaming agents. There's a whole bunch of products. There's products to keep it as inert as possible for the environment. There's a lot of science actually that goes into your paint that you may not think about. And as you might remember from science class, when you mix things wantonly, you can get results. Again, I don't think your paint will explode. And I think it's important to experiment as an artist and to try things. And as long as you're not selling it to clients, not being sure of the longevity, you can take risks and you can experiment. But it's stuff like Mod Podge. Mod Podge isn't a varnish. And the reason that gel is not a varnish, besides the fact that it's written all over the bottle saying that it's not, is because it's reactive to moisture. So it does the exact opposite of what you want. It's great for extending your paint. And this is made to extend your paint and save you money and perform exactly in a very specific way. But if I was just to coat the top of this and not varnish it, it would be very tacky, it would be very sticky, it would pull in dust, it'd be impossible to clean. So I still need to varnish afterwards. There are, however, inexpensive art varnishes that you can get, and you can catch them on sale. Even Mod Podge makes a separate varnishing product
now,
for acrylic paint. Perfectly fine.
I've been handed a note from our research department. Our own moderators, Christy and Rav Art, have been experimenting with adding cats and chickens to paint, and they agree that neither one of those are also good additives.
No cats and chickens.
No cats and chickens.
Please don't add cats, chickens.
No household care products. No personal care products.
But it doesn't mean experiment. Be brave. Artists are. We should break rules. Just know that can compromise the integrity of your paint and the longevity of your paint. I've looked at the household care products versus the cost of the paint products, and you're actually talking like being within $1 in cost. So like my Grumbacher retarder is not that expensive.
No,
it's within $1.
We should do a quest on this.
We should do a quest on this. We should do a quest on this. And this is, but never limit your imagination. I'm in no way saying that. And even the paint companies in their response were saying artists should experiment, but don't sell your experiments to your clients. But you should. Because that's how we break boundaries. So it's about, there's no yes or, isn't that suck?
Yeah,
there's no good answer. There's just
best practices. Sometimes.
Best practices, and then also take risks. But I would definitely say this is one that has been experimented with. This is one that has been tested out. And PVA glue is not a good additive to acrylic paint. And it does definitely impact the performance of it.
Yeah.
So that would be...
That's what our news is for today.
That's our news. I don't know.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hit that subscribe button. Go to TheArtSherpa.com. Join our groups. Be part of the conversation. The party continues on there. I'm just doing this plug because
soapbox.
That's my job.
I soapboxed. Sorry.
No, it's good.
Throw my soapbox.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Guys.
Stand on that apple box. Tell us what about.
Preach the truth of acrylic paint. I don't know. I love acrylic as a medium. It's my favorite medium. I really believe in it as a product. It's not a perfect product, but no art product is.
Then we love sharing this stuff with you guys.
I do. I love sharing the information with you. My experience. It's just my joy and my pleasure. Does not mean that I'm the final word in the universe. That would be golden.
Now, who else do they need to go check out?
Paint or Liquitex paint, because they make it and they have chemists who went and got a degree on that. So.
Now, who else do we need to remind everyone to go check out today?
Angela Anderson.
And why do we need that?
Because she's going to be live at 6 p.m. tonight doing these really cool, and I mean, this is a good first-time painter painting of birch tree branches with like beautiful yellow leaves sparkling up in the sky, and it's something I believe that even if you're a really new painter, you can absolutely do it. This is also a painting I looked at. It would look spectacular huge.
Woohoo, yes.
So definitely check her out. And you guys be great. Enjoy our bonus painting of the abstract rainy cityscape. Enjoy the holiday season. We'll keep meeting up and try to let go of this holiday stress while being creative.
Absolutely.
I have plans for us. I'm going to see you guys for Rocky Horror Picture Show on Thursday.
Love it. Looking forward to it.
For the best lips you've ever painted in your life. They're incredible. It's going to blow your mind.
Let's do that time warp again. All right. Love you guys.
Sorry. It's okay.
Bye-bye.
I'm not going to do it right now. Sorry.